like to open up to questions. Who would like to start? Okay, me. Well, I'll start with the cockroaches and work backwards.
Yeah.
How easy is it to wake a sleeping cockroach?
It's kind of easy. You probably sometime enter your room and cockroach. So just I think they can sense the
Vibration
on the floor or noise or anything. They're very active. I mean, they respond very quickly, so it's easy to wake them up.
The reverse of that. Have you done any studies about putting them to sleep? I mean, do you try to put them to sleep, or you just? I guess you can't be there all the time, so you got the equipment there and you just wait for them to sleep.
Yeah.
But can you play them music or give them Valium
sure. Or? That would be under the investigate the molecular mechanisms. For example, I could provide them with what's the chemical that makes us sleep, like sleeping pills. I mean the
serotonin or melatonin. Oh, that's not right.
I forgot the name of the molecule. Yes, I could do that. About music, I'm not sure music might help them to sleep. Something that could be interesting is to find maybe a frequency of a sound that could deprive the cockroaches of sleep all the time. So maybe they would leave your place because they can't sleep anymore there. So this could have economic consequence.
Right, because instead of like a
spraying chemical.
Right, a chemical or one of those traps that may or may not work.
Because as I said in the abstract, I didn't say it here, but if you sleep deprive mouse, but feed the mouse, it's gonna die faster than if you if you starve the mouse but let her sleep. See what I mean? So yes, sleep. You die faster from sleep deprivation than food deprivation. So it might be true with cockroaches too. So I could become very rich if I find a box like that deprive the cockroaches. Who knows?
So if we deprive the cockroaches and we can get rid of them, deprive of their sleep and we can
they
get
might
rid of
just
them.
go. Actually, they might just go sleep somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Somebody else's house would get a lot of cockroaches.
So the idea would be to put that everywhere. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we see sleepwalking in any of the species?
In mammal, sleepwalking.
Yeah.
In humans,
I guess just being active while they're asleep. Like actually,
active. Yeah, but coordinated movements. Yeah. I'm not sure about that. For humans, we know for sure. It's a disorder. Yeah. Kind of disorder.
You mentioned dolphins.
I guess
they
dolphins
sleepwalk.
Yeah, they sleepwalk. I think horses. We say usually horses. But it's not a disorder for them. It's like something that they evolve on purpose.
Sure.
I guess maybe some, I don't know, dogs, cats could show those disorders.
Yeah.
I never came across it.
Okay.
Do they teach about that in your class? What that disorder is all about? I'm curious.
You mean like my class or?
Right. I mean, what is sleepwalking? What kind of disorder is that?
No, not really, because I had class about insect behavior. So, but I guess in psychology studies or biology of sleep, like for humans, I guess they might be teaching about that. They might have found like what's the reason in the brain that causes that. But I don't know more about it.
Other questions?
Yeah, I do. I'm wondering about water and sleeping hours. Is that if they drink a lot of water and it's in fact about their sleeping?
So what for? Sorry.
For if they drink too much water, will in fact about their sleeping hours?
Insects or?
Yeah, or even cockroach.
About the water, I don't know. Usually we provide the food, it's already humid enough. We don't provide them water. We can provide both at the same time and control the humidity rate. But for food, for example, we know that for humans, when we eat a lot, we kind of fall asleep more easily. So it might be true for insects too. Like if you provide them a lot of food, like as much as they want, they might sleep more than if you rationate the food. Yeah. could be a point.
And how do you come up with the food that you're feeding them?
What do you mean?
What is it? You know, you're the laboratory tester, so you just gather some stuff at your house and bring it in. Or?
No, we feed them in our lab with a dog chow, but sometimes when we put them in tubes, we use agar medium. So we use both, either some food in kind of agar medium, so kind of semi-solid like a gel at the end of one tube, or when we rear them in big jars, we just give them dog chow and they're happy with that.
Okay, other questions?
Yeah. Do we know what the like the underlying function of sleep is yet? Because as far as I knew, it was still kind of controversial.
Yeah, we know it's involved for immunity, the immunitary system. Like when you sleep less, your immunitary system is down, and we know it's linked to memory, it's linked to brain development, and that's the idea, because we know that because we study our sleep. And like I show you, the eye of the mollusk is very complex, but so that's why studying sleep in cockroaches or even those flatworms might be a very simple sleep compared as our sleep, which has, and we don't know why we have those two phases of sleep, why we dream. We still don't know that. So that's the idea. Is like there's too many functions implied for humans in sleep. So yeah, we still don't know the core function. We still don't know why really we sleep.
Yeah.
Because people say sometimes, oh, it's just because we need to relax our muscles, but we could just lay down on our bed and just not sleep. But that doesn't work. We still need to sleep.
Along that, the same line that you were just talking about. Now, I know that you've predominantly studied insects, but is there a name for the point of moving into sleep? Like there's when you're awake, and then there's when you're asleep. But what about that moment when you've moved into sleep? Before REM sleep, just regular sleep. Is there a name for it? Well, for insects or humans, is there a name for it? I mean, do they that threshold? Or is that just called falling asleep?
Yeah, I think so. Or it might, I think we start after falling asleep. We start with the slow wave sleep, so not the non-REM sleep. That's the first phase. The REM sleep, when the dream phase occurs, it's after.
But my other question along those lines is, I have experience moving from wakefulness into what I think is REM sleep, moving right into a dream. So, I mean, since you're going to be studying, I don't know what kind of studies there are about for humans with that kind of thing, but you're going to be studying insects, and you're looking for these two, different kinds of. Like in the cuttlefish, you were talking about that the cuttlefish is sleeping but then moves into REM sleep, and you see two different states, right? So, I mean, I guess would it be possible to even see an insect move directly into REM sleep?
Well, first you would have to define REM sleep and non-REM in insects.
Right.
But it might be possible that cockroaches show REM sleep too. Maybe we could find it. I mean, justify it by sometimes they would twitch their antennae like that, or have some specific movements during sleep.
Wag its legs like that.
Moving its legs, or small twixy, maybe at the twitching of antennae at a specific frequency. But yeah, I'm still far from studying that. I still need to define sleep in the cockroach.
Okay, other questions?
Yeah. Do you think there might be any evolutionary point to dreaming, or is that just a peripheral thing? Loads of mammals seem to do it.
Yeah, there's a theory. What's the name of that theory? I think it's the Darwinism, oniric Darwinism, like oniric, like related to dreams. And the idea would be like when you dream, basically you think out of the box. Like you have crazy ideas coming.
Yeah.
It might happen that sometimes like eureka, and
So for the point of creativity.
Yeah, that could be a point. But there's many theories.
Yeah, I've also heard that it's like preparing yourself for situations that might happen.
True, yeah. Like for example, dogs, when they dream, you can see them, they usually either dreams about fighting, so survival and fighting against other dogs, or mating, like wet dreams. Yeah. So both those two things are very important for survival of the species. So yeah, you're true. That's true. It might be to prepare yourself, to put you in situations. Like our dreams, we have sexual dreams, of course. Sometimes we dream that we are chased by a creature and kind of nightmares. So there's many theories. That's the two that I kind of like.
Okay.
Other questions?
Yeah. Just mentioned that the sleep may be universal to the animals with vertical symmetry.
Bilateral symmetry.
Such as the backbone.
Sorry?
You mean the sleep may be universal to those kind of animals?
Yeah, because the most ancestral animal in which we found sleep is that flatworm, and it shows bilateral symmetry. So the idea is like sleep was kind of appeared at this time and then diverged to all of the forms of sleep we know. And we don't know about jellyfish. So before bilateral organisms, you have the radial symmetry organisms like jellyfish and sponges. And I think there wasn't that many studies about these animals. So the answer of is sleep universal amongst animals, it would be yes, but only for bilateral animals. I mean, as we know so far.
Okay, and my question is, do all of the bilateral animals have the structure of a left brain and a right brain?
I think they do. I do not know very precisely the neuroanatomy of the flatworm, but I think they have kind of a ganglion, a mass of nervous tissue, and yeah, I think there's a kind of left part. There's a symmetry of that ganglion. It's not a brain. There's no hemisphere because it's just a mass of tissue, but I think it shows a symmetry too. So
you think it may be related to the reason why we sleep may be related to the structure of the left and right?
It might be, yeah. Or it might be just that it's too hard to define sleep in those jellyfish and sponges, like because we use criteria that we cannot apply to them. It's hard to say. Cannot answer that.
Other questions?
Yeah, I have a question about the marine mammals.
Uh-huh.
I'm interested. I don't know how much you studied about it, but can you tell us something more? Like about they have to move because they have to breathe, right? So do they sleep at all, or they sleep in some other way?
They move because they have to breathe. That's more the fish that have to move because the marine mammals have to get at the surface, right? They don't have gills. Why do they have to move? That's a good question. But
They have to move to take.
I think that's what he means.
Yeah, but they can.
How do they do that?
They can't sleep deep underwater.
But they could like, I think they can stay underwater for hours at least, right?
Oh, I think it's so they can sleep for short
during
amounts
this
of time.
I think it might be that some of them are active all their life. It might be because of their ecology, because they have to follow their mom and migrate to different parts. And like the dolphin, he used that technique to sleep with only one half of the brain. Some other marine mammals might do that. I'm not sure.
The studies hasn't revealed yet.
Just about the dolphins so far, I think. How lovely dolphins.
I was really impressed. You said we can train bees in labs.
Yeah.
What can we train bees to do?
It's called the proboscis reflex. The proboscis is kind of the tongue of the bee, and the idea is you put smell. You make the bee smell something, and then you reward her with food. Okay. And so you train her like that. You do that a few times. I did it in class. So you put the smell to a bee and then reward her. Put the smell, And then the thing is, you just put this,
It's kind of Pavlov's
put
bee.
the smell. Yeah, it's exactly, it's the Pavlov reflex, but for bees. And when you just put the smell, there's a proboscis extension, so the bee tries to reach to the food you used to give.
Yeah, so it expects it.
Yeah, so that's a form of training.
Cool.
And for fruit flies, we can train them a lot as well. It's called the courtship training, right? Because they're social animals, also a little bit. The fruit flies, when you put a male and a female, they know how to interact, and you can train them like that.
Yeah.
Courtship training.
I'm curious, is there a correlation between a waking state and sleeping state in, say, how much CO2 an animal is breathing out, how much oxygen they're breathing in, and can you measure that?
Yeah, there is. That's also a way to
But with a cockroach, it's so small. Can you measure that?
You can do. Actually, I think there was a study about that.
And the marine mammals, is it that they have to come up on the surface to be able to get oxygen, or is it that it depends on the level of the deepest level of the ocean for them to be able to get oxygen, or is it that they have to come up?
I think they have to come. They do have to come up anyway to
on the surface.
Yeah, they do. But I think they can, since they can stay like hours without going back to the surface. I know like whales, they can stay hours. So they might use that time to sleep.
But then I also learned that there is a portion, there's a part of the ocean where absolutely no oxygen, but then there's a level where there's oxygen where they can be able to acquire.
Right? I think only animals with gears.
But maybe it depends on the deeper they go, the lesser the oxygen, or the shallower the level.
I think that's for fish, not for marine mammals.
So entirely, all of them have to be able to show up on the surface.
I think for marine mammals, yes.
All right.
Like it's been shown, like for sharks, they have gills, right? So they can breathe underwater, and they need to sleep too. So what they do, they need to move, or they need the flow of water to get the oxygen from it. So what they do usually, they sleep in caves, because there's a current of water going through their gills. They don't have to move, they can just stay still and breathe like that. So,
regardless of where they are?
Well, of course, they can't be too deep, but they need the flow of water. So usually in caves you have kind of stream, the water stream, so they would stop there and sleep there. So they don't have to move, they can just stop moving, just maintain their position.
How can they stop moving when they sleep?
Sorry?
How they stop moving when they sleep?
The sharks, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, they don't stop moving, they just maintain the position. Like, I think I saw a documentary about that. They just slowly move the tail, just to stay still.
So they stop basically moving part of the
Yeah,
body?
they're still moving. Like horses, we say they sleep and walk and this. So yeah, you can maintain some motor activity when sleeping.
So horses, they don't lie down necessarily when they sleep?
Well, I'm not really sure, but it's a common saying, right? That horses can. But
horse lies down, then he's ill.
yeah.
Which animals? I mean, we have to be strapped to a wall to sleep standing up, right?
Yeah.
Or unless you're sleepwalking, say.
Yeah.
But what other animals do you know that don't lie down? Like, there are some animals that don't lie down, right? Like a horse or something like that.
Horse never down.
Bats?
Yeah.
They hang upside down.
How about donkeys?
But there are some animals that that if they went totally limp, they might say like fall out of a tree or.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it happens sometimes. Monkeys sleep and
and that's funny.
that's pretty funny.
Are there any instances of people, or other mammals that don't need to sleep, like genetic abnormalities, where people are born or needing very little sleep?
Yeah. This I think everybody has to sleep, but some show like very reduced sleep.
Yeah.
They just need a few hours or things like that. or maybe they sleep a few hours but don't feel that well. Maybe.
Yeah.
I've
Yes,
heard-
there's a lot of genetic disorders in sleep.
Isn't there something about like as a person gets older, they need less sleep? Is that
Yeah, that's true. As I said, babies need a lot of sleep because their brain is developing.
Okay.
And we know that sleep is linked to brain
but
development.
between say middle age and very old?
I think it's commonly known. Like the youngest you are, the more sleep you need. And old people, they don't need. That's why you.
Well,
see,
they
you
take
see
naps
so
all
many-
they take naps all the time.
Yeah, maybe there are many small bouts of sleep.
Okay, other questions?
I have a question. Is there any change in the behavior of cockroaches after you wake them up suddenly from sleep? Do they become more nervous, or in insects in general? Because some animals can get very nervous, or people as well. If there's some there is this specific activity like
Higher heart rate or something like
higher
that.
heart rate. Or
Yeah, especially
something.
if you do that for a consecutive day for cockroaches because they sleep during the day, then they build stress. Like they don't. There's a lot of stress. Their metabolism is not that performant. Oh yeah, but yeah, you have to do it continuously. If you just do it one time, it's okay. Because I didn't say that. We mammals we sleep like for 8 hours continuously. We have one bout continuous. And insects, it's maybe more like old people. It's many short bouts of sleep. So they can sleep 30 minutes, 1 hour, then wake up, do their stuff, and then sleep again. So that's more how they sleep. They don't sleep like 8 hours continuously. It's many short bouts.
And when you study cockroaches and fruit flies and stuff like that, you have to know what their metabolic rate is. How fast do cockroaches' hearts beat?
Well, they don't have hearts.
Oh.
cockroaches.
Heartless beings.
Yeah, they are heartless creatures.
Or are they?
Huh?
Are they really heartless creatures?
They don't have a heart as we know it. They have all along their body, they have kind of a pump like that with valves, and they just pump the blood to create a circulation. So it's just like a long
So
tube.
does that mean that is the kind of heart they have?
Yeah.
They cannot get
Not
heart
the kind
attack.
of shape we have.
No, and so it's a long tube, with small valves all along. So it's
Is
very
it-
different than ours.
Is a fruit fly like that also?
Yeah, most of insects are. Yeah, I think all of them are kind of a pump all along the body.
But do you still measure it the same
You
way?
can measure, yeah. Actually, when you record very closely the Drosophila or the cockroach, you can see the pumping movements. So I guess you could do that too.
I mean, if you like pick one point, how often does the muscle?
Yeah, what's the
Move,
frequency of
right?
the pumping? Yeah, true. Yeah, the common sense would say like if they sleep during that time, the frequency would be
Lower.
less, lower.
Because this is along the same line as Angel's question. I have this, like, if I wake up suddenly out of REM sleep, maybe I wake up and my heart's pumping really fast, or my heart's beating really fast. Like I'm like, whoa, something must have just happened, but nothing just happened, right?
Maybe you were dreaming.
Oh yeah, I just remember. You said that dogs dream about fighting and mating, but how do we know what they dream about?
I think you just observe them and they kind of.
They're like, arr, arr.
So it depends on the
For
actions.
for the sexual
By the
dream,
movement. By the movement.
yeah, for the sexual dream, it will be down there. But yeah, once again, that's like I heard that. Like, I didn't study that, but I heard like dogs can dream of that.
So, what did you say? What's the easiest state to wake up a human being? Is it the
For humans, it's
REM.
REM sleep. I remember.
You said rapid.
Are you sure about that?
Let's test it on you.
I think I have references, Marco. I can show you. It's there, right?
Because me personally,
Around the
it's easier to wake me up when I'm about to fall asleep.
Also, during REM.
That should be the deepest sleep. It should be
Yeah, I know. It's a bit weird, but yeah, you have the reference down there. It's a paper from 2008.
Oh, but no, that's what it says. The arousal threshold is
Low.
oh, but that's
Yeah, so you mean you just need a small
threshold.
count.
Yeah, like the rats highest.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Maybe because when you dream, I don't know, you kind of your brain is kind of active. I don't know.
But don't you
So
always
this
wake
means that
up?
it's hardest to wake up.
No, easiest.
It's yeah.
REM, what is that?
It's the rapid eye movement sleep. It's basically when we dream.
Okay.
It's one of the two phases of sleep that you can record with the EEG. Here's the slow wave sleep, that's one form, and REM, rapid eye movement. When you dream,
So can you hook up like? Can you? This is the things you hook up to the meters that hook up to the brain that read. Yeah, right. The things that are on that guy's head. So could you do that to an insect?
No, because
they have an exoskeleton.
yes, true, and they don't have a big brain because they have less neurons. You know, there's been some studies where they put like they insert some electrodes, but then it's hard because they can't move really. You know, but you can still do that. You can record the.
Could you build a teeny tiny MRI machine?
If I get the fundings, yes.
I have a question. So, arousal threshold is the lowest during REM sleep. Is there any, you investigate evolution? Is that evolutionary thing? Because when you're in deep sleep and if some maybe animal attacks you, need to wake up suddenly and protect yourself. That's a
might be
evolutionary.
Maybe. But why the rat is different, you know, why it's highest during the REM.
Why?
That's the point of this slide, is to say like, even though we know a lot about sleep of mammals, there's something we don't really understand.
Maybe because when rats, when they sleep, they have a better shelter through evolution when humans sleep. So.
We slept in caves.
So our defense mechanism is to wake up and protect ourselves, and maybe they just.
Yeah, but probably it's not a coincidence. It's not it's not random. Probably there's an evolutionary reason behind that. And yeah, probably.
So you've given the insects caffeine, is that right?
Not me, but some scientists did that on the fruit fly. Yeah.
What about the opposite of that, giving them sleeping pills, something like that?
We talked about that already. Yeah. I think it's been done too. I forgot which chemical they gave the fruit fly, but they gave some chemicals that induce sleep or more sleep.
Did you see the study? I think it got quite big a few days ago. It was in Japan about being able to read dreams. But I think they put. Did you see this? They put some people in an MRI machine. They got them to think about particular objects, and they took whatever the reading was at the time when they were awake, and they got them to sleep and studied their brain again, I think in an MRI scan, while they were sleeping. And they could identify what people were dreaming about by the patterns of objects. It was very simple, but it was like 60% accurate, I think. So do you think there might be a time when we can record dreams? We could use like a very advanced MRI scan when we sleep to record dreams? To universalize it?
Well, you could record the activity, right? But then it's hard to translate the activity.
Yeah.
I think for like
you're
talking like simple shapes, simple objects, or something like that.
I think that's where it is now. Yeah. If we can already, that's why it kind of caught me, because if we can already in a really early stage recognize objects, then further down the line it might get more complex.
With MRI, right? Which is, MRI you can see in 3D, right? You can see which brain region is. Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, we would need theoretically possible, right? If you record the activity, but you need to know how to translate it.
You need to map out everything. Yeah, sure.
So yeah.
Other questions?
The cockroaches you examine, how long do you keep a single cockroach in the tube?
As long as I feed them, they can, as long as they live, which can be 3 months.
Oh, that's terrible. Don't say
What is
that.
the lifespan of a cockroach?
The German cockroach, the one I study, is 3 months
3 months.
at least.
Okay. I was wondering, because you keep them in this tube, right? So I guess the physical activity of the cockroach compared to having a life outdoors would be completely different.
Yeah.
Because it's very restricted, right? So do you think the sleep would be also related to its physical activity?
As long as they can run, as long as they can do activity, I think it's okay. They might be running less, so it might be quantitatively different. What I
And
say,
they don't need to look for
qualitatively.
food and stuff, right?
Sorry?
They don't need to look for food.
Yeah, it's just there.
It's just
so,
there, yeah.
But I think the quantitatively different, what you say? But not qualitatively. Like you would still have the same proportion.
pattern.
Yeah, but yeah, yes, you're okay.
We have time for a couple more questions.
Did you try to? I don't know if you said that. Did you try to deprive some cockroaches of sleep and deprive other cockroaches of food? Don't let them eat food. And did you try to
No, I didn't
see
try, but,
which one would die first?
Yeah, I would like to do that too. But first, I have to. I didn't find yet a good way to deprive them of sleep. I think I put them on shakers for like 5 minutes every 15 minutes during the time they rest.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Just
I gotta make sure it works first, that shaker thing. But then, yeah, it's actually quite an easy experiment and quite interesting. Just one control group that doesn't.
See what is more important, sleep or the food?
Yeah. What they did with the mouse to deprive them of sleep, it's quite horrible. They put them on a circle on water. And so they have to keep their balance
Yeah,
all
I've
the
seen
time,
that.
so they cannot sleep.
Right, because if they fall asleep, they fall into the water and wake
That's
up.
a torture.
And it's kind of torture.
So maybe they died because of that, not because
Depriving of
torturing
sleep is
them.
a form of torture. I know in Guantanamo they use that to torture people.
I think it was invented there. I think
Invented there?
that kind of laboratory experiment was invented in Guantanamo.
Yeah.
Oh well, that
Might be older. I think
It's like the Salem witch trials, right? They used to do that as well. If they thought you were a witch, they'd just keep you up for days on end.
And you would go, and you would be crazy and
Sure.
act like a witch. Well, any last questions? Any final thoughts?
No, just thank you for having me and coming.
Okay, thank you, Pierre.